Okay, after a nice, relaxing shoulder routine and some Gironda dips, I have some thoughts. What a perfect way to provide a little clarity, I suppose. I hope all of you are well, and I thought I would address the idea of a guilt by association fallacy. I am friends, or at least acquaintances, with an active NFL player. I've known him for many years. I've been to his house as a kid. I know his family. His family knows me. Our families know each other very well. Does that mean, therefore, that Mr. NFL player is going to give me free season tickets to go see the team for which he plays? Of course not. No, no. In fact, he might if I asked, but no, he's not going to give me season tickets. And that's where this thing gets completely ridiculous with so many people. I just don't get it. The praises, the Bills, the Robs, the Brucifers, the GY6s. I don't understand how this is supposed to work. I go on people's panels. I don't concur with everything that was said there. The news unit, good example. Um, Stefan says, "Hi, Ryan. Oh, here it is. Since I'm blocked elsewhere by Bruce or Cheryl, you mind if I hang out here?" No, Stefan, you're welcome here. You've never caused me any problems. You're not unruly. You respect my space typically. So I don't have a problem with you being here. I don't even have a problem with Jamie being here. The problem I had, namely with Jamie, is that he just overtly lied and slandered me a while back, and I haven't talked to him since. If he would apologize for that and take down the slander video that he made about me, then all is well. But as I was going to say, it's interesting that Dave, the news unit, apparently made on the PIA channel, the Praise the I Am channel, a comment about uh, that he was glad someone's daughter passed away. But see, here again, I don't have anything to do with that. I don't condone that. Not to mention, Praise is the same person in relation to the news unit that said right over at I'm Not What I'm Not's channel. I was actually there when he said it, and we reviewed it the time or two or whatever it was that I was next on the panel with I'm Not, where Praise demanded that if what's his face Dave wanted to return to the channel, to the Praise I Am channel, he had to blaspheme God. He had to go on the usual rants that you've sometimes seen from Dave that I don't wish to repeat, saying expletives in relation to the Holy Trinity. Again, I very publicly oppose Dave when he does that. I've done it at Veckel's channel. I've done it on public live streams. I've said, Dave, in chats, you shouldn't say that. But somehow, this means in the delusional minds of certain people that I condone the news unit's actions when I do not. It's also funny because here again, I don't understand what it is with the Smoky Saint obsession that so many people seem to have. It's just cuckoo. Smokey, at best, Smokey was a very coarse individual, too coarse. I remember calling him acerbic. Had to laugh. There was a channel that clipped out a clip of, I think it was my old video as to why I left. They forgot the old video was up on KJV Only Bob's channel. And if you watch the full video, I've plainly said that Smokey was too acerbic for my liking. So that's at minimum. At worst, he is a sexual pervert who is currently on the sex offender registry. But I don't condone that either. And I don't have anything to do with him. It's so weird that so many people keep referencing this guy when he's not on YouTube anymore. He doesn't have a channel. So, Will Kincaid owns his channel. And my argument is effectively this. I'm not denying the current narrative, but I certainly do question the inconsistencies about it. And even if I do that, how does that make me guilty? In what respect does that make me guilty? It does not make me guilty to any sober minded individual. Stefan, I see you got blocked by Cheryl and Bruce. It's so funny because I've been saying it for a long time. Cheryl will use her mod ranch to block people and then lie about it, or her friends will let her do it and then hide behind Cheryl, then deny that anyone blocked them. So much for their supposed stances in favor of free speech. In point of fact, they believe in censorship. They just don't believe in the same sort of censorship that I do. And they certainly are not these patriotic, freedom loving Americans that they like to pretend to be. That's just funny. That's funny. While I'm here, there's another thing I was thinking about, and I know Praise will not listen. Praise, at my heaviest, I was around 450 odd pounds. I don't remember if I ever got any heavier than that. I might have, but that's just when I completely let myself go. 5'7", 450 pounds is morbidly obese. Morbidly obese. And in Praise's last debate, where he showed his face on SFT's channel, he is so corpulent that you cannot see where Praise's chin and neck end and the rest of his body begin. I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm saying it because when you're in your 40s and you're that heavy, 300, 400, 500 pounds, you desperately need to lose that weight before you hit 50. It's a doable thing. If you don't, it's very possible that you will be crippled in your 50s. And I know Praise will not listen to me, but it is my hope that he will get off of the internet, stop enabling his sister, and seriously lose the weight, man. Do it before you are in your 50s and in cardiac arrest, or you're in your 50s and in a wheelchair or on crutches, because the human body will break down quickly. I had a comment from my doctor this year that when I had x-rays done in the early part of the year, he comes to me, he says, had you not lost that weight, you said you were about 300 pounds, 300, 450 pounds, you would not have joints that look like they do now. They don't look like most spastics that I see. They don't have any compression. They don't have any separation. They don't have it doesn't look like a grenade detonated in the joint like it does with most spastics and other similar conditions. And the joint just has barely any wear and barely any damage by way of comparison. He said directly to me, man, if you hadn't kept up with your weightlifting routine, you would not look like this. You would be in a much worse shape, guaranteed. I think of that. I think of Praise and wonder, why is it no one at his panel is telling him, dude, it's not because I'm trying to be ugly, but it's actually because I care about a human being. Lose the weight. You can do it now. And if you don't do it now, man, you're going to be staring at all manner of health problems, cardiac arrest, cardiological issues, very low testosterone, because that extra fat promotes not just estrogen production, but cortisol production. And cortisol is very deleterious in very high amounts. And what produces cortisol is stress, and the body converts this into what? Fat tissue. You seriously need to put down the pounds, Tom. And I'm not saying it to be ugly. I'm saying it because, as I've told him before, I've been in that place. I see I have other comments. What did Stefan say? I thought Linda and I was having a civil discussion. Yeah, I caught a bit of that. I thought it was very interesting, Stefan, at Linda's channel, where I'm not even actually subscribed. I don't listen to her and I barely interacted with her. She admitted that she barely knows me, told several lies about me, but it became very evident that the people surrounding her, the usual suspects, are the ones filling her head with lies about things that I supposedly said. Now, apparently, Andy and Rob Reed are doing something or other to help Linda out. I think that's great, but seriously, if Rob is this crusader for justice, like he likes to pretend to be, he's an attorney, well, kinda. Why doesn't he devise a list of grants from the state of Texas to assist the elderly? I don't get that. There are plenty of federal and state grants if Linda is living in the squalor that I heard about that would help her. And someone like an attorney who apparently has virtually nothing else to do with his time could very easily organize those grants for Linda and help her to apply for them. I don't understand why he doesn't do it. If he doesn't want to expend his own resources, which are rather considerable, then exploit the grants and services that are available. You say, apparently I was mistaken, Stefan. Well, the thing of it is, I'm capable of peace. I'm not a man that likes to be at war with people. It takes a long time to mature through certain things in my life. But apparently, like the scripture says, I am for peace, but when they speak, they are for war. The people that surround Linda do not want peace. I'm glad Andy sees that, simply because, well, making friends with people who are not your friends and only want to have a fight with you, mistake. Total mistake. And let me also state, look, I barely know Linda Edmondson. Let's see. I've been on Linda's channel in the past, and I've been on her, or I've talked with her, I think, on either Bill or Bruce's streams somewhere between 2023 2024 time frame, and that's very loose. I really honestly can't say I know much about her. She strikes me as an elderly independent fundamental Baptist of some variety, which is interesting because usually the IFB condemn antinomianism, though many of them can be very antinomian. But I don't know her very well. I don't speak with her. And what I don't comprehend is, why do you have to resort to manipulating an elderly lady who, evidently, according to what I've heard on the internet, if it's true, is in need of help? I mean, if Andy and Rob are banding together to help Linda, and that's their business, then why is there so much concern about producing thick shades like jib jab style clips and not helping Linda? In point of fact, if you say, as St. James says, chapter 1, verses 26 and 27, be warned and fill, and your religion is impure, you can't control your tongue, and you won't help those like her, then your religion is vain. You're not a Christian, according to St. James. What I don't understand is that, well, it looks like some of these people, at the minimum, have the resources to help. They have no interest in helping necessarily as a group. I made a suggestion to Linda for some help and was told by Cheryl to look the other way. I'm glad you said that. I seriously don't understand how you may call yourself a Christian, Stefan, in any capacity, if you state this person apparently needs assistance. Here's a way to assist her. I'm willing to assist her. Let's find help for Linda. Let's see if we can connect Linda with a church or a social worker, somebody who can help her in Texas. And in point of fact, to say, as a supposed Christian, just look the other way. I am reminded of so many instances in First John, for example, that tell me such a person is not a Christian. In fact, I'm glad you said that, Stefan. I'm going to turn to First John. I wasn't planning on that, but I'm glad you said it. Let's see. Hello, Ben. I'll get to your comment in a minute. Love in action. For this is the message that you have heard from the beginning. We should love one another, unlike Cain, who was of the evil one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his deeds were evil and his brothers were righteous. Do not be surprised, brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. Or excuse me, I'll stop there at verse 11. 1 John 3, verse 11. That right there tells me that if these people love Linda Edmondson and they really are Christians, then they should immediately drop all these efforts to come after Dave Chapman, myself, Andy Jack. That shouldn't matter at all, because apparently you have someone who is living, from what I've heard described, to be in complete filth. And I don't know why that is not the priority at the moment. Ben says, I've seen it tonight. She kindly gave me a wrench. I listened to her music, but someone told her that Stefan does dox Bruce. Wow, that never happened. Bruce unfairly kept hiding Stefan. Then I unhid him. Cheryl lied and said, go send UK Dave more Rumble videos. Yeah, they've said that many times. Rob Reed did something similar to me, and then he kind of backed off. He'll throw snidey comments. I don't tell you, but right, Ben, you've never talked to Dave from Kent ever. And Dave knows that, and you know that. But these delusional dingbats just keep saying stupid stuff. I don't know why they do that. I mean, that's a good point, Ben. Ben, I don't know from what part of the UK you are, really don't care, but you've never talked to Dave, and ostensibly, I don't think you've ever been to Swindon where Andy's at, or I don't think you've ever been where Bill's at in Colchester, which is very well known. It's so cuckoo. I don't understand why you would do that. And, I like this other part of your comment. I'm uploading a video on this. This needs addressing, but I'm concerned for Linda. You do what you do with your video, Ben. But seriously, where's the concern and love for this elderly woman who is evidently incapable of properly caring for herself? I think in a sense, not so much the sixth commandment would apply, but at least part of that table of the commandments would apply, insofar as that, if I were in a position to help her, I'd be inclined to help her. I'm not in a position to help Linda, unfortunately. I don't even hardly know her. But apparently, these people who are her fake friends don't love her or themselves enough to help Linda. I think it's insane. The link, by the way, guys, is in the top comment. I can't quite pin that comment from here. I think I can star it. I don't know if that highlights it on your end or not, but I can star it in StreamYard. If I pop out of here from this particular device, it's going to kick me out of this stream. I don't want to have to fool with it. But, I just don't get it. St. James 3 says, Hebrews. Here we go. St. James chapter 3, verse 13 to 18. Who among you is wise and understanding? By his good conduct he should show that his works are done in the gentleness that comes from wisdom. But if you have any bitter envy and selfish ambition in your heart, Don't boast and deny the truth, says the CSB. Such wisdom does not come down from above, but but is earthly and spiritual, demonic. For where there is envy and selfish ambition, there is disorder in every evil practice. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peace loving, gentle, compliant, full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering, without pretense. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who cultivate peace. And yet, the people that surround Linda cultivate drama, slander campaigns. They do Thick Shades style. Actually, they're not even as good as Thick Shades old videos. Thick Shades jib jab style videos, just running people down. I have never understood anything like that. I mean, seriously, these people, if they were Christians, should realize the need to help this person is far greater than the things that they lie about me. And I don't know about you, but I don't see how you can justify saying, I love Jesus and ignoring this, because I know what they're going to say. Well, Andy and Rob banded together and that's good enough. Well, it's like, dude, Rob, most of these guys don't do anything all day. I'm not going to say whether or not they work. Some of them don't. I don't get why they don't do this. And one of the new flying monkeys finally comes by, who also has been running me down in the comments and doesn't realize what these people are really about. How do you know no one has reached out and helped Linda privately? Just because it's not publicly flaunted does not mean anyone has helped her. They've also not stated that they have helped her. They have turned people away, Reset Glitch, who have tried to highlight the issue and say there are plenty of opportunities from public and private entities to help Linda if she needs it, and they won't do it. They won't do it. From what I've heard, Linda refuses the help, apparently. England 7. Oh, and by the way, you know how they tell you, Reset Glitch, that I doxed Brucifer, which never happened? They're going to do that to you eventually. You just haven't figured it out yet, but you'll get it eventually. The chats on YouTube with UK Dave happened on Bill's panel a couple of times, but I don't have his number. I don't send him videos. No. And see, that's the thing, Ben. I didn't talk to Dave from, I don't know, probably like 21 or 22 all the way up to this year. And even then, it's not like Dave and Andy are telling me what to do, and besides, what am I going to do? Go to Andy or Dave, who are old enough to be my grandfather, and tell them what to do? No, man. I might give them my opinion. I might tell them, hey, don't do that. It sounds like a bad idea. But no, I don't tell them what to do. And it's insane what these guys are doing. It's not like Bill isn't around. He is. He's got this sock account from 2016 that I'm pretty sure, based on the ontography or ontology, ontography, I think it is, would be Bill. And frankly, it's just like Bill to have old socks like that, because most people don't have that, and is too much of a coward to join live streams beyond the cult to talk to people. And is just using other people like Brucifer or GY6 or whatever to stir them up to attack his enemies. But seriously, they make these claims like, I hang out with Smokey Saint. I haven't talked to him since, let me think. The conviction for Joshua Bell went down in 21, 22? And I know I hadn't talked to him for at least a year prior to that, maybe more. So ostensibly, I have definitely not talked to Smokey Saint in 2 or 3 years. I can't quite remember, but yeah, I guess that means I'm Smokey's best buddy. I'm taking orders from Smokey. Clearly not. Clearly not. And Basement Dweller, I said this the other day. That was so funny that they made that comment. Basement doesn't even speak to me. If I try to reach out to him, he doesn't speak to me. And I just think it's funny, clearly, Basement has his own reasons, whatever, God bless him. He doesn't talk to me, and it's not like I condone everything he does. It's totally ridiculous. Um, I'm very well aware of that scripture, but you clearly don't know the Bible very well, Reset Glitch. And Bill likes people like that because he's functionally illiterate, and he's proven that many times. Because you don't understand, alms giving has nothing to do with charitable acts. That scripture is not speaking about helping those who are destitute and in need. That scripture is talking about giving in a specific context, which today would probably be applied between a church and its congregation, not helping someone out. The scripture you're probably looking for would be several verses down when it talks about blowing a trumpet. And in this case, I'm not advocating for that. I'm saying that it's a group of people who would be capable of helping this Linda Edmondson on the internet, and maybe there should be some kind of collaboration. I mean, shoot, Rob's an attorney. Why doesn't he start a crowdfunding campaign? He doesn't work. I mean, every attorney I know is loaded down with cases. And I mean, just strapped to the gills with cases. Apparently not Rob Reed, the musician quasi-attorney. Why doesn't he put together a crowdfunding campaign? Let's help Linda Edmondson. Make him come out looking like roses. But they apparently don't have the IQ or the EQ to do that. As long, Stefan says, as you remember, I'm Basement Dweller's #1 fan. Just ask Bill. I thought that was so funny, Basement's response to Bill in saying that this is the #1 Smokeyite and Bill Cuthbert channel. That is so funny because they don't get what that means. That's just too funny, man. Yes, and be careful not to talk privately with them. I've seen the vitriol and trolling behind the scenes. I admit I actually emailed Bill to apologize for something I said wrongly in praying, but I cannot trust to talk privately with them again. They're hateful behind the scenes of trolling. God fights the battle. And hey, you know what, Ben? I'm glad you finally figured it out. It didn't take you, but as long as it did me. But yeah, man, I will under no circumstances talk to any of those people in a private conversation. I don't want to talk to them at all. And for the most part, I don't. They stalk everything that I do. But good call on you, Ben. They will record that conversation. They will leverage and distort anything you tell them. And they will absolutely go on the attack. I mean, Bill's so illiterate that he took a comment, tuned up praise at Praise's channel, got Praise to try to call me a nonce or a pedo because I said to Bill, highlighting why people wouldn't want to talk to him, that he attacked my own disabilities while hiding for years behind himself and his kids. And they then turned that into, you mocked my daughter. Well, no, dude, I didn't mock his daughter. That's ridiculous. Bill has a brother with cerebral palsy, just like me. If you say anything about Bill's spastic brother, he'll lose his damn mind. But the years of hundreds of comments and scores of streams, dozens of streams that he and Thicky did at Thicky's panel, at Bill's panel, on sock panels, that's all well and fine. And the Thick Shade streams are still up. It's all over Uncle Sam and Thick Shades. I'm not a fan of Dave's Basement Dweller. I'm afraid. Okay, I'm not saying I'm a fan of him either. I think he's been very effective in highlighting the hypocrisy of certain people. But then that's going to make me guilty of saying, you support the #1 fan of a nasty man. No, I don't. I don't support Basement Dweller, but I get how he works. I understand what he does. I mean, he's even done a whole video basically commending me on his channel for that, where I tried to explain to Prey, like, you realize if you stop poking against this dude, that he'll stop poking against you, right? No, didn't get it. Didn't get it. Didn't get it. But hey, just remember, kiddies, morality is flexible. Attorneys who don't take on cases don't have to worry about struggling elderly ladies. And whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of disordered opinion. Seeing as that nobody came in as of yet, and the chat's pretty slow, I might keep it open a moment or two, but I'm inclined to go, well, that's right. I would have some coffee, but I've run out. Drat. Oh, well. I guess I'll get over it. If you do wish to come in, I'll post the link again. Let's see. Comment. And there you go. I can't pin it from here. I don't know if starring it does the same thing from within StreamYard or not. But either way. Let's see. Some of us have to work. Yep, totally understand that, dude. I'm on the way to very positive things in my life, Stefan, but I make a policy not to discuss that on YouTube because I am endlessly stalked and harassed by certain demonic people. Hooray. That said, though, it's probably better to turn this on down since nobody's come in. Thank you all for your kindly attention. And hey, why not get Linda some help? There's plenty of grant organizations that will help someone like Linda from the state of Texas, from private organizations, and from the federal government. I'm sure an attorney, even a half-baked one, could find these. And why not start a PayPal fundraiser or a GoFundMe for Linda? Help her get supplies. People like donating to stuff like this. If she really needs it, then that's the way to get it done. That is certainly a way to get it done. Y'all take care now.